Yeah!
Saturday.
Fireworks, pyro, guy on a motorcycle jumping over the volcano. Volcano explodes just at the last second. Motorcycle catches on fire. He rolls. Oh, he's down. Is he going to make it? He gets up.
That's amazing.
Whoa, show.
What's up, everybody? We don't need like actual real special effects when we have our imagination. Isn't that right, Taylor?
That's absolutely right.
Wow, you look all fancy today, dude. Look at you.
Well,
You have your coffee cup has a saucer.
It has I have to drink it this way.
Yes, pinky's out.
I'm wearing my glasses. I don't think I've ever worn glasses on the Woe Show.
You're wearing your glasses. I need to get glasses.
And check out, I'm sitting in like a throne. Look at, if I really sit, look, I'm sitting forward, but look, if I sit back, look how big this chair is.
You look like you're in a castle or something, man.
I'm in a fancy hotel in Georgia. And yeah, it's super fancy. It's like the kind of fancy you feel uncomfortable. Like when you go to your aunt's house who has a lot of money and she's still like got that furniture she won't let anyone sit on. That's how I feel.
My family's like the other way. It's like you don't want to sit down because you don't know what animal has been laying there before.
Right?
Right? Hey, my coffee today, I don't have to really blurb anything out because it's all like mainly in German.
What is that? It's an advertisement for a motorcycle shop?
Yeah. So this one, it's like one of my favorite mugs. I've had this one for years. About 15 years ago, my first trip to Germany, I went there. And this is a particular, it's a particular motorcycle, American motorcycle company.
Oh yeah.
But on the back of it,
that's
all German.
That's called Harvey's, right?
Yeah. Harvey Davidson's.
Harvey Davidson's.
Yeah,
there's
Davidson's.
no D.
Yeah.
Harvey Davidson.
Harvey Davidson's. Anyways, so I think I paid $0.25 for this mug. So
what a deal. What is that in German? They don't have quarters in Germany. So what are the coins called?
Well, they're euros now. They used to be Deutschmarks.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, they're on the euro system now. Anyways, okay. Well, so you're I feel like we kind of got a new look today. You're in a new room. You've got like the castle vibe going on.
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm actually in my house. I have I put my guitars up and my ukulele's hung. I forgot this was in the shot. This is my Lego chess set.
What? Do the pieces come apart?
Yeah, you build them. So check that out. Isn't that cool? So me and my boys, we love to play chess, and we found this Lego chess set. So it's kind of cool.
That's really cool. I think that if you win, you should acquire all the Legos from the pieces you defeat.
Yes. So
that would be fun. But now, I don't want anyone to think that I've gotten all hoity-toity being at this fancy hotel. Yes. And to demonstrate it, I'm going to show you my improvised microphone stand.
Sorry.
He's getting a call. Answer it. Who is it?
Every time. Oh, my gosh.
Who is it, Keith?
I'm going to have to. Did I not put my whole system? Here's the crazy thing. My phone is apparently hooked to the computer so that whenever I get a phone call, it goes directly to the computer. So
yeah, mine's doing that too, and I don't know how to make it stop.
Yeah, I don't know. So whatever. Okay.
There's a different YouTube channel for that. It will teach you how to do that.
So you haven't gotten fancy on us, is what you're saying?
No. Well, I know it looks like I'm fancy here, but I want to show you my. I was flying and I ran out of space because you're only allowed 50 pounds on the suitcase.
Right.
And at the last minute, I'm like, what can I take out? And I took out my microphone stand. So this.
What are you using? What is that? Is that the toothbrush holder out of the bathroom?
No, this is like a pencil, like a fancy pencil holder.
Wait,
like a pen holder.
Hold it up. Hang on. I think I know what that is.
Is this a horn?
Yeah, that's a bullhorn that's been like sawed off. And then I'm from Oklahoma, bro. I know what that is.
Wow. See, this place is what's going on? They're taking bullhorns.
He doesn't need it.
Do bulls drop their horns? Like a reindeer?
No. Well, they do at some point.
I'm from California.
At the end of their life, they drop their horns.
You know, I told you the story of when I took my kids to Bass Pro Shop?
No.
I told you. Oh man. So this will be a fun story. Okay. So when I was a new dad, I had 2 little girls, and they were real little. Like Madeline was 5 and Kennedy was like 2 or 3. And we had never been to the zoo. So I'm like, we're going to go to the zoo. So we go to the zoo, and that day, none of the animals came out. Like they all stayed inside their little caves and stuff. And so we like go to see the monkeys, didn't see any monkeys. Go to see the lions, didn't see any lions. And my daughters just started bawling. And I looked at Katie, and we're like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. We got to figure something out. So I'm in the car. My kids are screaming now. They're so sad. They've been told they're going to see animals. And I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I'll take them to Bass Pro Shop. They can see animals. There's so many animals there, and they're not running away, right? They're like there. And so this is going to be great. And so we go up, and at first they were really excited. They're like, Daddy, look at all the animals. And Maddie was like, did that used to be, was that a lion? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, why is he not moving? And I was like, oh, these animals are retired. You know, they used to be animals, and now, you know, when they retire, they come to Bass Pro Shop so people can enjoy them and see what they look like. And so Maddie goes, you know, was that a real bear? Yeah. Was that a real tiger? Yeah. And then we come around the corner to like the junior women's section, and she sees a mannequin, and she's like, did that used to be a girl?
That's hilarious, dude.
That was my first major fathering fail.
That's hilarious. I could see, but yeah, if you see a bunch of animal mannequins,
right,
a human mannequin, I mean, that
would be terrifying.
That is proper, like, assessment for a child's mind, you know?
Yeah, that's perfectly logical.
Right. Well,
I feel like when we get older, we just convince ourselves that things that are logical aren't. Like like stuff is just common sense. Like doing a magic trick for a kid, they're like, well, I don't know. I haven't seen everything. That could be possible.
Right.
You know?
But it's like, you know, you're still trying to put together things. It's like, what was it? That reminds me of a girl I met. She's like a teenage girl. She thought, and her dad shared this with me, and she was there. They thought it was funny. But you know how you see on the back of cars, it says commercial vehicle?
Yeah.
Right. So if you look for them on the road, you'll see them. There'll be cars usually around the bumper. It'll say commercial vehicle.
Right.
And she thought that meant that those were vehicles that were in commercials.
Like on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So like commercial, though, it's like they're used for business, like commercial use. That's
right.
They're a business used, commercial used vehicle. But she thought they were vehicles that were used in a commercial at some point in their life.
Oh, that's great.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of bullhorns, do you know why bulls knock?
Did you hear that?
I did. What do you got going on?
I don't know. There's
somebody knock.
You said knock, and I heard a knock. That was so weird.
That's part of the joke.
Okay. Knock, knock.
I am so going to get you one day. We're going to be recording, and I'm going to find somebody in the hotel to knock on your door.
Oh, scared me so bad. Okay, sorry. You were talking about why do bulls? What does that mean?
Why do bulls knock?
What does that mean? Is this a joke? Are you setting me up for a joke?
Yes, it's a joke.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I don't know, Keith. Why do bulls knock?
Because their horns don't work.
See, that's funny. I thought you were gonna explain to me something, being from California, that I didn't know about wildlife. Because I thought knocking, maybe that was a term that bulls do that I don't know what that means.
No. I wish I had. I don't want to touch my phone at this point because I've turned it into airplane mode, and I'm afraid if I turn it on, another phone call. But a friend of mine, he sent me, speaking of bulls, all right, since we're talking about bulls today, he has a ranch up in Oregon.
Is that what we're talking about today?
I guess, I don't know. It's not on the script, but just one more bull story, and then we'll get to moving. But it's really funny. He feeds the cows with this big John Deere tractor. It's got like big hay bales, to pick them up with the forklift. And he said he was on his way to feed the cows, and this big, massive bull stands in the middle of the road and won't move. And he's like, man, I am trying to feed these guys, and this bull is standing in the middle of the road, and he won't move. And he's like, so I like lean out. I'm like, get out of the way, cow. And he won't move. And finally, the bull like puts his head down and like does his foot like, let's do it, bro. This bull was going to challenge a tractor.
That's amazing.
And he jumped out and took a picture of it. So
like if you're a bull and you've never seen a tractor.
But he sees this thing every day. It brings him food. It's like, hey, this thing brings me food. And I think he's just like, you know what?
I should battle it.
I didn't order hay. I want something else.
When I was a kid, did your mom ever used to say this? Whenever I was being clumsy or reckless, my mom would say, you're like a bull in a china closet.
Yeah.
Your mom ever say that?
Oh, yeah.
So my mom said that to us our entire life. My sister is almost 40 years old now. And 2 years ago, so she would have been 30, 37, 38. And she goes to my mom. My mom said it at Christmas. And she goes, Mom, you're always saying that. That doesn't make any sense. What's wrong with having a bowl in a china closet?
A bowl.
A bowl, like a cereal bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah. She put for like 30 years. She thought my mom was saying a bowl. What I love is that for at least 20 years, my sister thought how ridiculous that was. And finally she's like, I'm saying something today.
That's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah. Isn't it funny the things that we hear as a kid, and that, like, it doesn't. I'll give you a good example. This was me as a kid. My dad used to say when he was a kid, they would butcher pigs, right? And
I'm sorry, children.
I know. Hey, this is for kids. You guys need to know. That's where bacon comes from. Pork chops, ham sandwiches. They're pigs. It's part of farm life.
Are you just telling this story to try to promote your book?
No.
The Bacon Book by Keith Coast.
I'm not trying to promote or plug the Bacon Book by Keith Coast at keithcoast.com, Taylor. I'm not.
I'm just checking.
I'm not trying to plug it at $12.99 plus shipping. I'm not. Okay.
That's not what this is about.
It's not what this is about. My dad used to say, he said one of his favorite things to do as a kid was to catch the squeal of a pig.
What does that mean?
Well, he said what he would do is he would get like a jar, right? And he would get up to a pig, and he would make a pig squeal, all right, which is not hard to do, right? Because they squeal all the time. Anyways, he would go up to the pig, and he would put its little mouth up to the jar, and the little pig would, and then he would cover it up with a lid, and then whenever he wanted to listen to the pig squeal again, he would just like undo the lid, and it would go like, right? So, like, he could jar a pig squeal, and I thought, have you what? Go ahead.
I am completely terrified right now.
Why? Why?
The poor pig.
What? No, he would just squeal. This is not part of the butcher process. It was just pig squeal. Pig squeal.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead. And you thought.
So I thought you could scream into a cup and then put your hand over it and hear it again. Right?
Yeah.
So I remember as a kid doing, oh, and I never heard anything. And I guess I did it throughout most of my childhood. I would scream into a constantly.
You were convinced because your father told you could.
Yeah, and it was, and I guess at some point I just gave up. Like, maybe right. And then I thought about it as an adult years ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Like, I never came to the realization in my life that like that wasn't real. It was just as an adult I realized, oh my gosh, my dad not lied to me, but as dads. I mean,
he's embellishing. He was
he
telling a tall tale.
He pulled a joke on me. That's
Right.
But at first, I'm like, my dad lied to me. And then,
Yeah.
like, that was the most brilliant joke of all time because, like, it literally took me, I think, 20 years to figure it out.
I spent probably no less than 7 years trying to capture my own wind in a jar. I thought, man.
Do I even want to ask what wind you're speaking of?
Oh, you know what wind. I took a few moments to think of the best way to say that on this show. Which word should I use to describe the element that I tried to enclose in a jar? I just thought, what power would that be if you had a glass jar and you could capture the wind of yourself in this jar, and then just if a bad guy ever came, I just chuck it like a grenade, and he would be like, "Oh man, I smell the wind of a small child," and then that would be the best weapon ever.
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's going to wrap up today's episode, kids.
No, I can't tell you, but I can't tell you how many times I thought this time I really got it, and I left it for like a week, and then I walked up to one of my sisters, and I stuck up with the jar, and I'd be like, "Ha!" And they'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "It didn't work again!" Ah!
I love how you kept it for a week. And
you gotta age it. You gotta age it to perfection. I thought for sure this time, it's gonna work. And I remember just being like, like I had like a mayonnaise jar, which I thought would actually help the smell of mayonnaise. like a nice starter for some sourdough bread or something.
Oh my gosh. See, guys, the Woe Show. You don't know what's gonna happen here.
No.
And you know what? We're just being real. We're being real. If nobody, I guarantee you, leave in the comments below if you tried exactly what Taylor has done too. Because
Keith, I need help I need help from everyone who's watching on the Woe Show.
Yes. What do we need?
Fellow Woe Show subscribers, I need your help.
Okay.
I'm in a fancy hotel.
Right.
And things here are different.
Okay.
For example, tiny salt and pepper shaker.
Ooh, those are nice.
Tiny ketchup came with breakfast.
Ooh.
I ate all the ketchup. Don't judge me.
Well, there's only like a small helping.
Right. Even tinier jelly.
Ooh. Is that orange marmalade?
This is sweet, pure fancy sweet orange marmalade.
Ooh. Isn't it weird? I know. Right?
Yeah. Well, wait for this. Are you ready? The tiniest Tabasco sauce you'll ever see.
Ooh, just enough for one bite of eggs.
Look at that. It's so tiny.
Little bitty.
Ah! Don't try that, children.
Don't try that at home, kids. Don't put pepper sauce.
Got you. Oh, it came back out. Okay. But this is what I need help with, Keith.
Okay. All right.
Also, one other thing.
That's not what you needed help with?
Well, I need help because of that.
Okay.
One other thing came with breakfast, and I have no idea what it is.
All right. Show us.
It was next to all those things.
What?
It's a jar with some liquid and some rocks in it. And it came with my breakfast. What is this?
Is it like a vinegar?
I don't know.
Is it like a vinegar or
I haven't tried it.
Smell it. Does it smell like vinegar?
No.
Is it like an oil? Whatever, dude.
I don't know what it, should I try it?
I feel like there should have been maybe a flower in that or something. You know, like it's a tiny little vase for your breakfast. I don't know. What do you guys?
I was gonna just drink it. I thought at first I was like, maybe those are like sugar rocks and this is like a simple syrup.
You should what you should do.
But I did there is a flower on the floor. Maybe it fell out of here.
That's probably it. What I would do is drink all the water or pour it out, and then leave a note on the tray. It said, "This this water on the rocks tasted horrible."
Can I get some more? Can I get another jar of? I seriously thought this was going to be sugar, and I almost just drank it. But I think now that you've described that to me, it's exactly what it is. It's got to be a vase.
It's got to be. I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment below. Let us know what you think it is, and
comment below. And the winner will receive this, a leather-bound stationery set from my hotel. They let you keep these, right, Keith?
And an empty mayonnaise jar that appears to be empty.
But there's a surprise inside.
Is it a big squeal, or is it the wind? Hey Taylor, let's get to our Saturday topic. How's that?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm having so much fun though.
Oh yeah.
So today, how about we share a story, of a personal story of something that we did that was not wise. Maybe a personal story that was not wise.
Have we not shared like 12 of those already?
I feel like we have, actually. I feel like that is, I don't know, maybe I feel like everything we've actually just shared was not wise.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like from when we were kids.
Yeah. No, I've got an unwise one.
Okay.
I don't know if I've shared this story. Have I shared about going outside without my shoes on when I was a kid?
I don't remember that one.
Okay.
I don't actually ever remember hearing that story.
So. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I was the only boy with 7 sisters. It was my sister and I, and then my parents got remarried to different people, and they each had 3 daughters. So overnight, I went from having 1 sister to having 7 sisters, and I was the only boy. And so every other weekend, there would be 4. Wait, hold on. There was 5 of us every other weekend that would be together.
Wow.
In our home. And my mom and stepdad, they'd be working, and so they just leave us alone. And my sister Cindy was in charge for no other reason than she was the oldest. And at the time, I think she was maybe 12. So just imagine 12-year-old and then a bunch of kids slowly younger. You know, like if you lined us up, we would look like the cell phone percentage bars.
Look like the Von Trapp kids.
Yeah.
We Sound of Music.
We did so we sewed all of our clothes from curtains. And so we were really bored one day, and so my sister Cindy was like, let's play follow the leader. And my mom's number 1 rule when we were kids was don't go outside without your shoes on. I don't know why. Like, moms always fixate on one thing.
Right.
Maybe it's don't leave the cap off the toothpaste. Maybe
don't drink out of the milk jug.
Yeah, don't drink out of the milk jug. For my mom, it was always don't go outside without your shoes on.
Okay.
So we're playing follow the leader, and we're just running around the living room being silly and goofy, and whatever the leader does, you do. Well, my sister Cindy is the leader, and she just couldn't stump us. She couldn't mess us up. So then she's like, fine. So she opens the front door, and she steps outside with no shoes on.
No.
And we were all like, what? And so we're like, okay. And we followed her out the door. And I'm telling you, Keith, I felt the exhilaration that Marty McFly must have felt when he hit 88 miles per hour the first time. We went outside, and she just kept going. And she walked across the street to the park. And the park that we lived by had these old school barbecues that were like charcoal barbecues.
Mm-hmm.
But they had like a handle, and it would hinge like this, so that when it cooled down, you would dump the charcoal out on the into a trash can, right?
Right.
Well, somebody had just had a barbecue that day, and they didn't wait till the charcoal cooled down, and they dumped all the hot coals on the cement.
What?
And we are walking barefoot.
I already know where this story's headed.
Yep. To the emergency room. So my sister Cindy, she's doing follow the leader. So she's like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And we're all like, this is so silly. Okay, ooh, ah. We just one by one followed her. And then she walks, and she stepped her first foot on her toe touched the hot coals. And she goes, wow, wow. And we just all one at a time followed her going, wow, wow. And we walked right after her through the hot coals. And we all got like crazy burns on our feet.
Oh gosh.
That's a not wise thing I did when I was a child.
Yeah, man, you got to follow those rules.
Yeah, and
Your
you
mom
also have to
did
be
one
careful
day,
who you follow.
right? That actually, that kind of reminds me of a story. My mom was the same way. It had just rained. We were, gosh, I haven't thought of the story in forever. We were at my aunt's house, and my mom goes, "All right, kids, it's really muddy outside. So you guys just step where I step, right?"
Okay, Mom.
So we stepped exactly where she stepped. And apparently, when we got inside the house, there was dog poop on the carpet.
Oh no.
And it was like, who stepped in dog poop? Well, guess what? We all stepped in dog poop.
Because Mom
Because
did.
Mom said, step where I step. And it's really funny because she wanted to be mad at us, but we were
Right.
following instructions.
Yeah.
So was that wise or unwise? I don't know.
Well, it was probably wise because your mom was intentionally trying to help you, and she's your mother.
Right.
So if your parents are trying to lead you and they're not asking you to do something that's illegal or immoral, you should probably do it, even if it's
Right.
weird. Like,
Right.
okay, I guess I'll step in dog poop.
Yeah. But to this day, we're always like, we'll razz my mom, be like, yeah, step where mom steps. Because it's
It's always safe and warm.
right. Right. Well, see, my mom, she actually grew up not far from where you live out in LA.
Oh, wow.
What was it, Pacoima? Yeah.
Pacoima.
Yeah. It was
That's a
pretty rough.
place.
It's pretty rough back in the day.
It's still pretty rough.
So my mom grew up in a pretty rough little neighborhood, and she brought that with her. So it's like everywhere we go, it's like, you kids stay close. There's nobody here, Mom. Yeah. I grew up kind of like, I felt like I like Stranger Things, the Netflix show. And
yeah.
I think I like it so much because it does remind me of my childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Riding bikes.
Half those clothes I wore.
Yeah, right?
Like, I had that puffy jacket.
Oh, my gosh. I'm trying to think of a not wise story. I mean, I have so many, probably. Let's see, what was not wise? Gosh,
I love that it's taking you this long to think of a bad mistake you made.
Well, I've only made like 2, so I'm trying to tell.
Which one? Wow. Holy moly.
It's not wise. I know. It's like, what can I tell? I think my brain is like trying to like suppress them all right now that I'm trying to think of them. I'm trying to think when I was a kid.
I one time, this is a not nice. I was not nice this time. I always try to be a nice person, and one day I got so sad because I was real little. I was like 7 years old, and we were at my friend's birthday party, and everyone was saying I liked this girl in my class, and I didn't like any girls. I'm not that I didn't like them, but not in the way that sometimes boys like girls.
Right.
Yeah. But I was so mad that they were saying this. I was like, guys, stop saying it. I don't like her. Stop saying it. And
she's not my girlfriend.
Not my girlfriend. And I got
she's
so
a
mad.
girl. She's a girl, and she's my friend, but she's not my girlfriend.
Right. I don't even know what that would mean. So when she went in the other room, she had a Pepsi, and I took like all the pickles and pickle juice and like pepper and salt, like all this. I took all this stuff like this, and I put it in her drink. I was like,
you put flour vase water in her drink?
Yeah, I put mystery rock liquid. I put all of it in her drink, and she came back, and she didn't drink it, but she saw it, and she was just so hurt and sad. And I was like, oh, she didn't even do anything. She wasn't the one teasing me, and yet I made a bad choice. And I still feel bad about it.
Is that how you met Katie?
No, that's not. That was Sandra Holt from Foothill Elementary School. I'm sorry.
If you're out there listening.
What if you're like, and here she is. Oh, we've got her on the Kyle.
That was her knocking at the door. Yeah. Send her your way. All right. So I have 2. I don't know. I know which one would be. They're both good stories. One was when I cheated on a spelling test.
Let's hear about that.
Okay. The other one, I think we could save it for later because it's appropriate for lots of different things. Okay, so the time I cheated on a spelling test, I didn't even really know because I didn't know it was cheating. I just knew that, like,
Wait, what do you
had a
mean?
plan. Well, okay, I'm in first grade, Miss Stewart's
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. Oh,
And my buddy at the time,
I remember her. She's great.
right? And so we're in first grade, so I'm like, what, 6 years old. My buddy at the time, his name was Daryl. Daryl, he was an interesting kid, man. Daryl, he was the kid that like didn't have a lot of friends. He kind of like he was always disheveled, like his pants were always kind of falling down, and he like he would like run on the hems of his jeans. His shoes were always untied, and he was just a goofball. But I kind of felt like not a lot of people hung out with Daryl, so I hung out with Daryl, and give you an example. Daryl, one day we went to the zoo. Speaking of the zoo,
Yeah.
my mom was pregnant with my little sister, and he goes, "Hey, is your mom pregnant or is she just fat?" And
That's great.
my mom, my mom heard it, and without skipping a beat, she goes, "I'm pregnant, Daryl. I'm pregnant." And I was like,
Good mom impression.
Yeah. She said it just like that. But that was not wise for Daryl. But the story was Daryl and I were at recess, and we're like, Daryl's like, "I have this great idea, Keith." He goes, "Do you have trouble with the spelling words?" And I said, "A few of them, yeah." And
I'm picturing you with the same size head and a very tiny body, full beard.
I said, "Yeah, I mean, some of them, yeah." And he goes, "Hey, I got this idea. What if we take the list of words and we like put it down under our desk so that when Mrs. Stewart reads off the word, then we can look down at that piece of paper and we can see how it's spelled." And I'm like,
That's
"That
brilliant.
is a brilliant idea." It didn't even register that this is cheating. I didn't know what cheating was.
Right.
I just knew that Daryl figured out a way.
Daryl is so smart.
I think Daryl would go on to create the internet or something. I don't know. Maybe he owns Google. I have not. You know what? I really honestly should look up Daryl. Anyways, so I thought this is a brilliant idea. So we both get our sheets of paper and we kind of put it in our desk. We had the desks that were like flat on top and kind of had it on one side, and on the other side was like the little shelfy thing. So we had it kind of sitting right there. So Mrs. Stewart would read off the word, and then we would be like,
trying to look slick.
we were not slick. We were like the opposite of slick. We were like the roughest sandpaper you can buy, man. I mean, it was because apparently, like, not even halfway through the test, Miss Stewart, she's just kind of,
like, what are these boys doing?
Yeah. She's giving us words like, first grade words like astronaut. Astronaut. The astronaut went to space. That's not a first grade word, is it?
That's a pretty good one. I'm like, right now, if you told me, give me all your money or spell astronaut, I'd be like, I'm sorry.
All I know is what came next is she's like, she starts walking through the classroom as she's giving the spelling test, and she goes over to Daryl's desk, right? And she kind of looks down and she sees, I mean, you can see it. It's like we're not even trying to hide them, man. They're just laying right there. And she just goes over to Daryl's thing and grabs it and then takes the paper and goes, like where everyone can hear. And I'm like,
are you sitting right next to Daryl?
Yeah. I think we're a couple seats away. So anyways, then she calls out the next word and I'm like, right? She comes over to me and I'll never forget. And I just remember looking up at her like this, like, because she's reaching down. She grabs a piece of paper. She does the same thing with mine. Like this. She just walks to the front of the test. And I didn't even feel like I was in trouble. It was almost like she was saying, you boys are smart.
Right.
You don't need this. Like, you got this, right?
Dude, that's
The look on her
funny.
face was like, the end is near.
The time has come.
So we finished the spelling test. And it's interesting to me because I was actually pretty good at spelling. And so I don't even really know that I needed the help, but I used it whatever. After the test, she says, we went to recess, and she says, everyone can go to recess except for Daryl and Keith.
Oh.
I'm like, oh man.
Bum bum bum.
I think in my mind, honestly, I was like, dude, we're about to skip ahead to second grade because we're too smart. And she said, you boys want to explain to me while you were cheating on our test? And I'm like, we weren't cheating. I mean, we were like, we're not cheating.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you were. You were cheating. You had the words on a piece of paper.
Oh.
And I was like, but that was in case we forgot how to spell them. Like, we're trying to reason with her. And so Mrs. Stewart had to explain to me and Daryl that is called cheating. And it's not a wise choice.
Yeah, this again goes back to the logic that sometimes as kids we have is like, it just would make sense that if you need to remember something, you would have a paper that said what that thing was.
Right?
It's like when I was a kid, they told us the only way they ever got us to learn math in school was they said, you need to learn this because you're not going to have a calculator with you everywhere you go.
Exactly.
And now I'm like, how do they teach kids math? Because if I had this.
Here, where do I have it here? Hold on a second. This is I sold my Apple Watch a couple months ago because I've been wearing this more.
Boom. Got to get back in time.
For those of you kids that don't realize, this is a Casio calculator watch. This is vintage. This is from
Oh yeah. That's the real deal.
What Taylor's talking about. Taylor, were these legal in your school?
No.
No,
that was contraband.
These were illegal because they told us as kids that you will not have a calculator everywhere you go in life. So you need to learn how to do math the right way.
Right.
And yeah, this would have been confiscated. Who knows how many principal. I bet that's how they're retired principals are making money on eBay right now. They just reach into their desk drawer, they pull out a handful of these and sell them on eBay.
I'm also thinking given the low pay we give teachers, that's probably the gold watch they get when they retire as a principal.
Probably so.
Thank you for your service.
Right. But I mean, wrapping up today, talking about maybe making not wise choices. Sometimes we make mistakes, right? And we don't know they're mistakes, Taylor.
Yeah.
Right. Now, your story, you totally knew you were breaking the law.
I did. I knew, and
you were walking outside without shoes on, young man.
And I'll tell you, the fear that I felt knowing I was going to have to explain to my mother was more pain than the blisters on my feet. Yeah.
It always is. It always is. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in today. We had a lot of fun. I don't think I've laughed this hard in a long time.
I know. This was great, man.
And I don't know that I'm going to be able to make a sandwich today and put mayonnaise on my sandwich without thinking of I think I'm just going to do mustard today.
If I could catch wind in a bottle.
All right, guys. Today's Saturday, but guess what? We'll be back on Monday. Tomorrow is Sunday. You know, we're a daily podcast, but we take off on Sundays. We do that because it's a family day. Everybody needs a break. I mean, if Chick-fil-A can take a break, so can we, right?
Also, it's hard for me to get motivated to do anything when Chick-fil-A is closed.
I know. I only want Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
I know. Not cool, Chick-fil-A.
And that's why we're also employing the philosophy that you can't have the Woe Show on Sundays. But you can kind of because you could go back.
Because you can go back and listen.
But you won't get new content. You're going to have to wait till Monday. So, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you bright and early on Monday morning. It comes out at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time because there may be some of you kids that like to wake up early.
That's right.
Get your Woe Show. So we will see you